Hey guys, so I'm doing a video today that I really didn't think I was going to be doing anymore, but it's 2021 and I feel like it's all about, challenging yourself. Basically, I'm just gonna be doing a TBR for March. For me personally, I don't stick to TBRs. I make them and they sound great in my head, and then because of library holds and things like that, and I'm a big mood reader, I just don't get to reading the books that I have set out to read. But this month I have a kind of goal for myself that I will not be, I say that now, it is only March the 1st, so very likely to change, but I'm telling myself I'm not going to do any library checkouts this month unless it's an audiobook, because I really want to make it a priority to read through my physical TBR. So hopefully you can help hold me accountable to that. I'm so bad. I'm on Libby all the time, like downloading books, and then I'm like, well, I have to have a book always on my Kindle, always on the go, and so it's hard for me to not do that. So this is going to be a really big challenge for me, but I really want to stick to it because I want to read all of these books and I would like to read them in the month of March. This is also kind of a bigger TBR only because I know that I am not going to read all the books that I'm talking about, but they're just on my horizon for March. So the one for sure I'll be reading in March is one I'm actually already reading, and that was one of my anticipated releases of 2021. This just came out February 23rd. Pretty sure it's the 23rd, 21st or 23rd, and it's The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This is a romantic comedy following our main character of Lena. She is traveling back to Spain for her sister's wedding and she needs a date. So she enlists the help from her curmudgeonly co-worker, who they just really hate each other, and he is going to be like her fake boyfriend date to her sister's wedding. I almost didn't film this video because I just wanted to sit on my couch and read this book. So anyways, I will be getting back to this as soon as this video is over. I am planning on reading, this book is humongous, so that's just only slightly intimidating. It is 622 pages. And the text is actually pretty small, unlike the first book, but this is Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I want to read this book in March because the third book comes out in April, so I will be all caught up with the series. My only problem is I'm not really in much of a fantasy mood, so I might put this one off for a little bit. I might have to work myself up to this one, but I do in theory want to read this book before April. Next I have two books that are on loan from friends, so I really want to make it a priority to read these and be respectful to them and get them their books back because I've already had them for a little while. But actually this one I'm really looking forward to reading ASAP, and that is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. I don't know anything about this, but I am definitely feeling myself in the mood for a mystery. So this is definitely the mood I'm in, after this romantic comedy thing. I feel like I'm gonna jump into this one right away. And then kind of piggybacking off of that is my other book I have on loan from a friend, The Wife Upstairs. This is like a thriller-ish kind of mystery, intriguing story, I'm told. Super short. Both of these actually are really short, so I should be able to read these relatively quickly. And this is a Jane Eyre retelling, which I love Jane Eyre so much. So I am confident that I'm going to enjoy this one a lot, especially, like I said, I'm kind of in that mysterious kind of mood. So these two I want to get to really soon. On par with the mystery aspect, actually this is considered dark academia. I want to read The Secret History. So this is another longer book. Well, it's 530 pages, smaller print, and I've heard that this is a little bit slower paced, so it might feel like it's going to take me longer to read this book, but it sounds intriguing. I've never really read Dark Academia. At some point in this month, which this is actually good because I have a couple long books and then I have a lot of other short books, so I can have these all sprinkled throughout. This one is, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's called Monday Starts on Saturday. It has a whimsical vibe to it, so I just reread the back cover again, and there's this computer programmer who picks up these hitchhikers and they convince him to come work for this magical institute. So you kind of then delve into this whole magical institute, and he's discovering all of these magical creatures and things and events and things like that. Wish granting fish, a talking cat who can remember only the beginnings of stories, a sofa that translates fairy tales into reality, a motorcycle that can zoom into the imagined future, a hungry dog-sized mosquito, along with a variety of wizards, including Merlin, vampires, and petty bureaucrats. Yes, this sounds so good. So don't know why it's taking me, well, I've had this since Christmas, so it's still relatively early that I've had this, but I want to prioritize this for the month of March. I have two more that are not featured here because One is my book of the month, which hasn't yet arrived. It'll arrive probably next week or the week after, so I'll read it then. But it's called What's Mine and Yours. This is a multi-generational story following two students in North Carolina, and there's some initiative that draws students from the Black east side of town into the white high schools on the west, and you're following two students. I think you're following their families. I think it follows them even further than that because it said it was like a multi-generational tale. I really like those kinds of stories, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one when it gets in. And then the last book is actually unusual that I have this on a TBR because it's an audiobook, and most of the times I don't like plan out my audiobooks, they just kind of happen. But I have a 7-hour car ride to make on Sunday. I will just be in my car all day listening to The Highwayman by Kerrigan Byrne. So I was thinking, like, I need to have a book that will probably be really engaging from the beginning, something I can maybe listen to the whole book in that 7-hour car ride. And I looked it up, it's 11 hours on audio, and I'll probably listen at 1.5 to 2 times speed depending. So I most likely will read the whole thing that day. So I'm really looking forward to my car ride now because I was dreading it before, but having an audiobook made me that much more excited for this. So I'm reading this because, well, I've actually wanted to read this for a really long time. It's on a lot of romance readers like favorites historicals, and Jess from Peace Love Books just put out her like top 10 historicals, and ever since that video it is now my goal to read all of the books from that video because I want to get into historicals, but I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to start, and I'm just gonna follow in the footsteps of one who has done it very well and has found success and found really good books. So I am starting with the first book in her video, which was The Highwayman. It was available on audio, so I was like, this is meant to be. So yes, Jess, thank you for that video. I'll leave it down below if anyone wants to do the same journey with me. I don't know if I'm gonna read one of those books a month. Maybe I'll just like do them all in a row at one time. I'm not sure. That is going to end my March TBR. Please encourage me to actually read these books and not get sidetracked by my library because that's what I do. But if you've read any of these, let me know what you think. Maybe I will put them up like on the order of how I plan on reading them. And if you're reading my book of the month book, let me know too, because I feel like I always want to talk to people about the book of the month selections, and I'd love to know if you also got the same book of the month as me, and maybe we can all talk about it when we get ours. So that's gonna end this video, but thank you so much for watching and happy reading.